The central government has allowed the barbaric sport of Jallikattu despite massive protests. The Ministry of Environment this morning put out a notice allowing Jallikattu the traditional bullfighting practice. Jallikattu is celebrated around Pongal starting from the 14th of January till the 18th in 3 villages of Madurai. Environment Minister was under pressure from the state unit of the BJP to allow the festival to be organized with an eye on the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. A notification issued by the government says that bulls should not be mistreated during Jallikattu and district officials should oversee the events. Environmental activists have been opposing the government's move because of the injury it caused to the bulls that participated in the bullfights. Want to connect to my colleague Akshaya, who's joining us. You know, Akshaya, it is clearly a political issue right now, and that is what it seems the central government has pandered to.
Yes, Preeti, if you see the elections in Tamil Nadu is just 4 months from now, and BJP, which just has a 2% vote share in the state, has clearly done this due to political pressures, because most of the political parties in Tamil Nadu have been asking for Jallikattu's go-ahead sign. AIADMK, which is the leading power in the state, the MDMK, the PMK, and various other parties have always been supporting Jallikattu. And with the elections just 4 months from now, this can be seen as a political agenda which has been taken up. And if you see, most of the Animal Welfare Board authorities have been vehemently opposing Jallikattu because it is a very barbaric act where the bulls are being very ill-treated. And if you see, the animal is still put under the performing, not to be used as a performing animal, but an exception has been brought for Jallikattu and various other bull races. So that's from Chennai, Preeti.
You know, Akshay, stay on with me. Let's, get in more political reactions on this story, because this is turning out to be a political story as such, and not so much where animal rights actually are in question. Khushbu from the Congress joins us. Khushbu, it's rather bizarre, because when the Supreme Court has banned it, how is it that the central government can intervene and overturn that?
See, even then we had a ban, that in 2012 and 2013, we have obtained special permission from the High Court, and we had followed some norms, and the conditions were laid. So there was a conditional Jallikattu which was allowed in 2012 and 13 also. Now, this comes in 2014. After that is what the people have been talking about the problems. But we need to understand that Jallikattu is something what you have, a Pushkar Mela, which happens every year annually, and it's a huge festival for us in Tamil Nadu. And when it comes to Jallikattu, you have to maintain certain conditions where you do not affect the bulls to an extent of hurting them.
Khushbu, I'm afraid, can I just come in? Khushbu, have you attended the Pushkar Mela? Do you know how different it is from Jallikattu? It's a camel fair where no camels are abused. None of that happens.
It's how you look at it.
No. How you look at it is from the animal's welfare point of view, Khushbu. There is no other way of looking at it.
Let me comment. I'm talking about the festival. I'm not talking about the animals. So I'm coming to the animals later. I'm saying this is a very, very important festival to us. This is what I'm saying. We want Jallikattu, but we need the conditions which were laid, and this is what we had done when Congress was in power in 2012 and 2013. We have had Jallikattu then also, though there was an ordinance, and we had obtained a special permission from the court to have the Jallikattu under conditional when it related to the bullfights. Now, I am saying, why the BJP, who was in power or who hasn't been in power for the last 18 months, or AIDMK, who has been in power for the last 4.5 years, have not spoken about it? Why there was no Jallikattu last year? Why it's only now with 4 months, 3 to 4 months to elections?
It makes no sense, Khushbu. Khushbu. I want to come in. I really want to come in here, because it makes no sense somewhere down the line with the point you're putting forth, because you're making it into a political slugfest when it's not. It's about the bulls. It's about the animals.
It's not it is. No.
And it might be. No, Khushbu, let me come in. Khushbu, just hear me out. Khushbu, do you know how sacred the Gadi Malai festival was to Nepal?
No, you're not. You're breaking. I'm traveling, so can you come again?
Khushbu, when you talk about how Jallikattu is a big festival for Tamil Nadu, I want to ask you, I'm sure you know how sacred the Gadimai festival was to Nepal. There was a reason why the entire community, including the political community, got together and banned Gadimai in Nepal. Why is it not possible for people like you to come out and say it for what it is. It's not a political slugfest. It is about an animal. It is about animal rights.
It's about animal rights. I would like to say for us, the festival is important. I would like to say that if this is the case, if this is what the BJP has to say, then the BJP has brought in. I would like to
It's
ask,
not
where
about
is
the
Madam
BJP,
Menaka
Khushbu.
Banerjee?
It's not about the BJP or the Congress.
No, can you either you ask the question or you allow me to complete my answer?
Please complete.
Yes, I'm saying this is about the festival. This is a tradition which has been followed for many years. This is something which is part of the festival. We are saying that when it comes to the cruelty to the animals, we all understand, we completely understand. That's why we say there is a conditional way to do the bullfight. So this is what we are saying. We definitely understand the pain of the bulls. It's not that we are completely ignorant or we are completely non-caring about
Khushbu,
what happens to the bulls.
Okay, Khushbu, under the garb of cultural and, that how it's been a cultural part, Sati was a cultural part of India. It was banned. Should we have also laid restrictions on Sati and said this is how it's going to happen and this is not how it's going to happen?
No, we want Jallikattu. We believe in the festival. We believe in the bullfight. We understand it. But we definitely need the festival. But I would like to ask the same thing. When there are people talking about, or you talking about, the cruelty to the animal, I would like to ask, BJP has given this permission to run the Jallikattu. Now, I would like to ask, where is the Animal Welfare Minister, Menaka Gandhi? Why is she not opposing
She's not
the
the
BJP
Animal Welfare Minister. She's not the Animal Welfare. Khushbu, Menaka Gandhi is the Khushbu, Menaka Gandhi is the Women and Child Welfare Minister, not the Animal Rights Minister.
She's not. She has been working for the animal rights,
been,
right?
yes.
She has been. So she's in power. Why doesn't she speak against her government? Why doesn't she put her foot down? She has been the one who has been fighting for the cruelty against animals.
Khushbu,
why doesn't she fight about it?
The point would have made perfect sense, Khushbu, if you would have come out there and made it very clear that it is about animal rights. You made it into a Congress versus BJP issue.
No. We have conditional permissions to run the bullfight. We make sure that the bulls are not ill-treated.
How do you make sure?
That the bulls
do you see these visuals? How do you make sure that there are people tearing at this animal, pulling the tail?
Take a look at it.
Yes, take a look at it.
Done in 2012 and 2013.
I have the figures, Khushbu. You want me to tell you how many bulls died? 2013. I have the figures for 2013. There you go. Shall I start belting out the figures, Khushbu? How many bulls were injured? How many bulls died? I really don't want to get into that.
No, please go into that.
Khushbu, the fact is, if, like anyone out there, if this is not about politics, it's not about Congress, it's not about the BJP, it's about animal rights.
It's not about Congress, it's not about the BJP, it is for us.
Sadly, the political parties.
It's about the sentiments of the people of the festival here. There are people, when you have an argument like this, it's not an argument for the Congress alone. This argument is as a person from Tamil Nadu.
Sentiments of the people,
as someone who completely understands as to how the cruelty to the animal is. I am an animal lover, I am an animal supporter.
If you're an animal lover, then you wouldn't say we do it under, we'll put some constraints, we'll do some, we'll put some restrictions. If you were somebody who was standing on the right side of animal rights, you wouldn't be saying it. You wouldn't be talking about the BJP or the Congress. You would be saying ban it. The Supreme Court banned it in 2014. We should go with that.
Give me the detail. Why aren't you giving me the detail of 2013? I said, give me the list. Please come down and see as to how the bullfight is being conducted under special conditions.
Khushbu,
it's very easy to sit on the other side and speak. Please come down here. Don't treat South India as an isolated place.
Who is treating South India as an isolated place? Khushbu, you're completely,
every festival
you're completely missing.
Every festival is important to us.
Every festival is important to all in India. Every festival is respected. Every festival is important. But you have to do it in a fair manner where animal rights are respected.
Let me ask you a very simple question. If not for Jallikattu, how many of you would cover Pongal on a national debate? Please tell me that. It's only because Jallikattu, because it's a cruelty to animals, that people come up with the thought that it's cruelty to animals, and that's why I say there's a ban on Jallikattu, and that is why that every year there's a debate about Jallikattu. I'm saying how many of you otherwise report on Pongal as to how it's celebrated in Tamil Nadu? Nobody does it.
Kushbu, do you think or not? Okay, let me just ask a rational thought. These visuals that you see, do you think or not it's right or wrong to treat an animal this way?
I'm asking a simple question to you. If not for Jallikattu, do you think you would cover Pongal?
Kushbu, the glaring fact that in terms of the bulls are abused, how many of them die every year after this?
And no,
do you think
that's why I'm saying
it should not be covered?
way of doing
Kushbu, do you
it.
think
We
what is the media trying to do? You're trying to highlight
2013. The media needs to understand that to look into the details as to 2012 and 2013, how the bullfight was conducted here. They have to look into it.
Kushbu, you've made it like I'm saying. It's not about the BJP. It is not about the Congress. It is not about any of the political parties. If cultural sensitivity has to be maintained, there have been, like I pointed out earlier, Sati was a part of our culture. Did we abandon it? Did we ban it? Yes, we did. Nepal, a state where Gadi Mai is the biggest festival for the country, not even a part of Nepal. They banned Gadi Mai.
You're free to do what you want. So we are free to do what we want. We are following certain conditions laid down by the court, by the judicial system, and we are following the complete orders of the judicial system. So
all right,
where does it harm anyone?
Kushbu, what we're going to do is, let's just treat it politically as well. We are joined by Mr. H. Raja from the BJP. He's on the line with us. Mr. Raja, we have Kushbu from the Congress. The question, of course, she asks is, in terms of why has BJP suddenly woken up just before elections and suddenly woken up to the cultural importance of Jallikattu?
I am very sorry that those who say that BJP has suddenly woken up before election. In November 2014, when Amit Shah ji came to Chennai, more than 600 people belonging to 600 villages came and presented a memorandum to Amit Shah ji. And Amit Shah ji wanted me to follow it up with the Environment Ministry. We have been following it up with the Environment Ministry, and Sri Prakash Javadekar ji has written to me assuring that sufficient amendment would be brought in the law in the January month itself in 2015. So we have not been waking up at the time of the election.
All right, Mr. Mr. Raja, let's bring it in this debate, because this is going to turn into, like we were pointing out earlier, into a political slugfest where it really isn't, because it's about an animal there. I want to bring in animal rights activist Ms. Ambika Shukla. She's on the phone line with us. Ambika, two questions. How can the government go back on something which the Supreme Court has banned in 2014? The second question I want to ask you, like Khushbu points out, that there is a controlled way of conducting the bullfight. Is it possible?
No, it's not possible to control a bullfight. Absolutely. Anybody who works with animals or has seen animals, the behavior of animals, it cannot be controlled. And in fact, this has already been debated by the Supreme Court. Initially, the Supreme Court had banned it with conditions. Had allowed it with conditions. When those conditions were in violation, and it was proven to be by footage that it was not possible to conduct Jallikattu with any conditions whatsoever. That is, the Supreme Court again deliberated on the issue, and this time arrived at a final conclusion that yes, Jallikattu was in violation of all the animal protection laws and any civilized society. It is barbaric, it is cruel, it doesn't promote anything civilized for either humans or animals. It encourages the worst in humans, and it ensures cruelty for animals.
Ambika, why is it, do you think, the government has now gone back, and I want to bring in Mr. Raja from the BJP who's on the phone line with us. The Supreme Court has banned it. How is it that the government can go back on such a ban and give a go-ahead for a festival?
Shocking and unacceptable. It shows complete contempt for the Supreme Court's wisdom, and I don't think any government has ever challenged the Supreme Court decision in this manner for absolutely no reason.
Mr. Raja, do you want to come in?
So-called animal welfare activists have been hypocritical, and there are...
How are they so-called, Mr. Raja? They are on the, it's laughable when you're calling people so-called animal rights activists.
I have allowed you to talk. You can allow me to talk. Then what would they say about using bull for clubbing or for taking loads in the park?
One cruelty does not justify another. All right? One cruelty does not justify another. If there one bad thing is happening, it doesn't make another bad thing right.
The animal for meat.
All cruelty to animals is condemnable.
To kill animal for meat. Why don't they?
All cruelty is condemnable. All right? There is no choice. There is no saying you can do this and you can't do that. all animal cruelty must be condemned, and it's shocking that a government that calls itself progressive and wants bullet trains and smart cities should take such a regressive step. If you call it a tradition, wasn't sati a tradition? Wasn't child marriage a tradition? Isn't dowry a tradition? Shall we defend all these social evils in the name of tradition? It is shocking.
Khushbu, you were saying there's a way of conducting this in a controlled manner. Would you want to carry out that conversation with Ambika?
Yes, I would like to tell Ambika that she should come forward and see what happened in 2012 and 13.
I've seen it. There's been enough televised footage. There is enough televised footage to showing the cruelty. Do you know that animals are kept in queues, hungry and thirsty for hours?
Ambika, you need to understand.
On their neck,
Ambika, you need to understand that the people who have these bullfights, people who have this Jallikattu as we call it, this is something the people who bring up these cows, the bulls, actually as their own children. Okay.
And then they tie ropes around their neck, tear their tails.
Family.
Okay, this is part of the family. Why
of the family. So you need to understand.
Let them put their children in the ring. Let them put their children in the ring. If you say they love these animals,
either you speak or I speak. We cannot over each other on a phone.
Being allowed. Let them put their children in the ring. Let us see the same kind of cruelty being allowed.
So what do you think? The men who are in the ring,
you're saying they love them like children.
Okay, one second. Khushbu, 1 second. I just want to intervene. Ladies, I just want to intervene. 1 second, Khushbu and Ambika, I just want to intervene. Khushbu, you wanted figures, I have figures. The PETA India website has the figures of the bulls which were killed in 2013. Those are the figures that you want, Khushbu?
Yeah. I'm traveling, so your line is breaking. You'll have to be. If somebody overlaps on my line, I'm not able to hear them very clearly.
All right. Okay. Khushbu, you said you wanted the figures of injured and dead bulls in the year 2013 when your government apparently conducted a controlled bullfight. Now, PETA India's website. I'm on PETA India's website. Would you believe the figures here would be right, or do you think they'd be concocted? Because I can give you those figures.
Hello?
Give the figures.
Khushbu, can you hear me?
No, the lines are bad. Come again.
Khushbu, once again, let me once again, put this forth. You asked me for figures for 2013 where your government was in power and apparently you conducted a controlled bullfight. Now, if you will take PETA India's word for it, I can read out the figures from their website.
Please read out.
All right. Now, Khushbu, 2013, exactly the area and the bullfight, here, the news report says, the Animal Welfare Board of India was the one who conducted a survey at Avaniyapuram. 6 bulls died from head injuries. 2 men were grievously injured as well. So this is one report. And this is all under the controlled guidelines which were put forth to regulate Jallikattu. Now this is just one report, 6 bulls and 2 other injuries. I can rattle off quite a few. It doesn't take long.
There are 6 bulls who died and there are 2 men who were previously injured.
One news report,
now, this is what,
One news report from one area.
This is in just one village. In just one village.
No, I was not. First, the lines are bad. So let me make myself very clear. Listen, I am saying people who have been talking about cruelty to animals. Let's make it very clear. How many of you worked saying that when you go on the highways, there are cows and bulls in the middle of the street? On the road.
What has that got to do with this?
What has that got to do with this? Jallikattu, wait.
What has that got to do with this? One cruelty doesn't justify another. If there are cows and bulls on the street, they need to be helped as well. Okay? They need to be helped as well. Every animal deserves to be helped.
I'm not going to understand anything, neither you're going to understand what I'm saying.
I've understood what you're saying. You're justifying cruelty in the name of some kind of tradition or sport or whatever you want to call it. It's neither a tradition nor a sport. It is not a sport when 50 people jump on one helpless animal, wrestle it to the ground, twist its tail, break its neck. That is not a sport by any means. Okay? And it's not a tradition either. Because traditions are something to be continued with a civilized society approves of. Not something that is like
civilized society. Absolute civilized society, Ambika. We are as civilized as you are. Our thinking is as you are. We are as progressive exactly as you are.
You are not. You are clearly not if you support a tradition like Jallikattu.
Fine, it's a democratic society we live in. You are entitled to
This is an antiquated tradition. It needs to be discarded if ever it was one. Okay?
Absolutely.
Tradition cannot,
It needs to
cruelty
be
cannot be
discarded. That's what
defended
you
in the name
think.
of
We
tradition.
think that we have a festival here, so we fight for
not
it.
a festival.
We know how
Child marriage
we
is
know
also
how
a
to take
tradition.
care of a bull.
Dowry is
We know
also
how
a
to take
tradition.
care of the
Do
men.
you want to continue with
Yeah,
all
when
this
you-
in the name of tradition?
All right,
We know how to take care of a man. We know how to take
you
care
know,
of a
we
bull.
You
can
know
have-
how to take care of your animals. That's why
this
it's died in
conversation,
1
I'm afraid I
minute,
need to
right?
come in.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid I need to come in. Ladies, I need to come in. You know, this conversation can go on till the cows come home, or rather the bulls come home, because it's not about politics. It is not about the Congress or the BJP. It is about a festival which puts our animals through a fair amount of cruelty. And the fact that this festival was banned by the Supreme Court, how is it that the government can go back and legalize something like that? Appreciate you joining us, Khushbu, Ambika, as well as Mr. Raja.
Pictures of the Parliament building in Delhi, pictures of Rajpath, pictures of several other sensitive...